How's it going, guys? In this video I'm going to build a vivarium in the same style as this one using the cork pieces background method. So stick around and we'll build a new enclosure. Okay, so the next enclosure is going to be based really heavily on the methods I used to build this enclosure, and the main thing I like about this enclosure is that from sort of here round to this corner is one big cork, a round piece of cork, so that acts as like a, I don't know, maybe like a tree trunk or something, you know. So that gives me another level in there, quite a big level in there that I can plant in, and also takes up a lot of space, which is handy for when you're piecing together little pieces of cork. So it's nice to have a one big main piece, and I really like that about this one. So I'm going to do that again with what I've got. I've got enough pieces to do that, and then I can build up pieces around the sides and the tops, but we'll see what pieces we've got first, and then we'll make our mind up. So here's my cork selection. I brought 5 kilograms of mixed cork, and already, although I really like the idea of that, it's actually not the best shape inside. Well, once it gets to the ends here, it's not the best shape for allowing some surface area for plants, so that's gone on the no list at the moment. This piece is just a bit of a weird shape. That's too big for the Exoterra that it's going in, so it's going to be this piece. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a base off of it to mount that to the base. So I'm going to cut it somewhere to allow that to be the base, and I'll leave the natural end, either this end or this end, to pick up, to stick up maybe like 3/4 of the way up, maybe halfway up, somewhere in between, and then that will be a big piece, and then we'll fill around that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to probably break up maybe this bit of this, and we'll go from there. Okay, it's going to be a bit hard to film for the first bit, but I'll show you what we're doing. So, I've lifted up the Exoterra. Just for reference, this is a 45 by 45 by 60 high, matches the one back there. It's an old one. I've taken out a background. The polystyrene backgrounds come out pretty easy. Should have filmed that really. It's just one big rip and it came out. Anyway, so to make my life a little bit easier, and I might end up going a little bit more on these blocks, because I want the bark to kind of stack on top, but I also want to be able to see in. I'm sort of picking an angle that I can lay the bark in without too much messing around with stuff like tape or wire or anything like that. So I'm going to try, and like I did with the last one, is stack things up one by one, try and get a piece of this kind of weird little jigsaw together based around the main piece I have here. So let's get to work with that. This is my silicone of choice, by the way. Anyone who's watched any other videos on my DIY stuff know that I use this stuff a lot. Perfectly aquarium safe. Yeah, excellent stuff. Okay, so we're going to just offer up a few pieces, see where we go with it. So, just have to commit to that. commit to that and move on. Okay, so there it is for now. It's all delicately placed, all siliconed up. I've put Eco Earth on all the bits of silicone. I'm just going to leave that now to sit here peacefully all night. I'll let that dry, and the next stage will be the planting. So it's hard to see, but there is, obviously I've got pockets here, here, up there, along the top, in there. So there is sort of multiple places to put plants. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get that out. We'll see what happens in the morning when I go to cut it. So the plan changed, which is obviously something that's going to happen when you're working with this kind of stuff. So I ended up flipping the main piece over. I didn't like how flat it was sitting. I then built up the side there, and I didn't like that, so I ended up putting this big piece that just kind of covered that up there. I've got some tubes here. I may have to just fill that section there in, put it flat, put some eco earth on it, and hide that. But to be honest, plants will probably cover that, and also it allows the line day gecko to kind of run up behind all this stuff, which is absolutely fine. I encourage it. In fact, gives it loads of hiding places. So yeah, I'm really up for that. If I could do these things again, what would I do? I would probably cut that to the right length. For some reason in my mind I went, well, it's going to be a false bottom, so start it halfway up, and that was a stupid idea. I might as well just brought it all the way to the bottom like I did the old Viv, and everything was then flat, so for a moment it was a bit of a balancing act. But apart from that, I'm quite happy with it actually. I don't know if it's got as much character as the other one, but it's got a lot more places to plant and a few more levels that than the other one doesn't have. So I'll be interested once it's filled up with you know, some soil, plants and stuff like that. We'll see what see how it looks. So we'll check back when all this is dry. So here we are, next day. Everything's dried. Managed to get the plant pot out. I think that looks pretty cool. Got some nice places to plant that up. So in the next video I will put the drainage layer in, the substrate layer in, and the plants, and I'll show you how I do all of that stuff. So catch you in the next video.